You know, in 1953, a man by the name of Tom Patterson greatly changed Canadian theatre when he risked everything to create the Stratford Theatre.
And today, of course, it's world-renowned. And so this Thursday, there's a special evening to honor the hard work and dedication of Tom Patterson.
Here to tell us about it are two of its organizers and veterans of Stratford themselves, Lloyd BOCHNER and Don HARRON. Good morning. Welcome. Nice to see you.
Don, have a seat.
Great.
Thanks for coming. Welcome.
Have a seat. You can all crowd in here. It's so great to have you guys on the show.
Four guys on a morning show.
I
It's like the Temptation.
I know. It's very bizarre. It's a guy kind of show. Guy on Toronto. It's great to have you. You, of course, both have worked at Stratford. And
a long time ago.
Lloyd, what year did you work at Stratford?
Well, both Don and I were there from the first year. I left in the fifth year. I think I left. I wasn't fired.
Now, who was there that year? I know. I think Timothy Finley was acting.
Tiff Finley was
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who else was there during that first year, 1953?
Bill Hutt.
Bill Hutt was there.
And, of course, most important of all, was Alec Guinness.
Really? Was Christopher Plummer there that year?
No, he wasn't.
He came later.
No, he came
The
later.
fifth year, just through Henry.
Right when you left.
That's right. I made room for him.
So this Thursday, there's a
Played
very...
Horatio to his Hamlet.
That's right.
Did you?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
This Thursday, a very special event that you have organized. It's happening at the famous People Players Theatre. And it's interesting, you've drawn a wonderful analogy between Diane Dupuis, who founded the theatre, and Tom Patterson, who founded the Stratford Festival. You find them something quite similar about both of them.
They're really the same person. I mean, they have the same spirit, the same drive, the same imagination, the same courage. It's quite remarkable. And both are leaving their mark on the Canadian scene.
Now, Stratford, in its first year, in its formative stages, was a tent, I understand, Don, back then, 1953.
I remember once when Lloyd was making a speech, a rather long speech, and a fly went right inside his mouth. Do you remember that? He never lost a word. Didn't, you know. It was amazing.
I remember at CBC, to get off the subject of Stratford for a moment, when we did live television, Barry Morse and I were doing a scene at a sidewalk cafe, and in the typical CBC fashion, they served us ginger ale, which had been sitting on the shelf for several weeks. This was meant to be champagne, and when it was decanted, there was about an inch thick of flies, and Barry, without looking, popped this into his mouth.
They think acting's easy.
That's right.
That's when you know you're a real pro and you can drink or eat flies and carry on with the performance.
Now, Lloyd, you, of course, apart from having a distinguished career here in Stratford and other things, you've moved to Los Angeles. You worked in television and film there over many, many years. Is your home still in Los Angeles?
Yes.
And you come back here quite often. You have family here,
As often as I can, yes.
Tell us a little bit about this Thursday, what we're going to see. This is a tribute to Tom Patterson, this amazing visionary who founded arguably the most important cultural institution of this country ever. How
We're going to talk, we're going to reminisce,
Yeah.
like old men do. But we're...
Character roles.
Tom had an idea, but not much of an idea. He went to New York, tried to meet Sir Laurence Olivier. And I think Olivier was in the dressing room. What? Yes, of course. No, thank you. And he didn't know what to do because Olivier was busy. So he came back to Toronto, and somehow he heard about Dora Mavor Moore. Lloyd and I both worked in her company. And Dora said, yes, there's only one person can found a theatre, and that's Tyrone Guthrie. So she found Guthrie.
Pronounced Guthrie, you understand, not Guthrie.
Extended the syllable.
And he came, I think he came on his own.
Yeah, he came out in the winter, I think, of 52, 53. And he met with a group of us. He was remarkable. He didn't ask anybody to read. He just met you for about 5 minutes and then said, you're hired or we're not interested.
Great instincts, obviously.
Well, I think he had wonderful instincts. He was a great director. But in typical English fashion, Tony was an effect director. His favorite expression was, make it showy, dear boy, make it showy.
It's a theater. I love it.
That's right.
It's wonderful. You know, it's so great to hear just a tiny fragment of some of the stories that you guys knew from Stratford over those many years ago. This coming Thursday night at the famous People Players Theatre, of course, Diane Dupuis doing wonderful work. We all know her work so well, and it's a very appropriate venue for this evening. What time do the festivities begin?
We start at 7 o'clock. And then there are a few tickets available. And also, I might a little plug, Charlie Farkas is going to do a comprehensive monologue on the history of Stratford.
Is the world ready for this, Tom?
No, he's going to get it all wrong, including next season. He deals with next season.
Well, I'll be there Thursday night, and I wish you all success.
You can steal it for the next day.
It's been a delight meeting you. Yes, I will. I will indeed. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much.
Lloyd Bochner, Don Harron.